Hello, everyone. I would like to say nice to see you, but I can't. I hope you're doing all right and that everything is going well. And welcome in the new episode called the ByeByeBer, which stands for Bye Bye Berlin. And this episode will be honored to my Berlin simulation life as I lived there last 3.5 years. And to be more specific, I will focus on my top metro stories, which I had a chance and I felt actually honored. I felt honored to be a witness of and that I had a chance to observe them. So I'm super happy this happened because now I can tell you these stories. And also, I wanted to mention that in general, the fact that Berlin Metro functions so good, I think the person who planned this, people who planned this, they should get a prize for it because I think in fucking Hauptbahnhof is missing only the place for helicopters or something, jumbo jets. But after what I observed there, I came to a small conclusion that Berlin is a bubble which gives a space to people who can't fit in any category of society. And due to the fact that the city gives such intense vibration of anonymity, when you're anonymous, they can create their own bubble and live in it. I would say that the reason why, after living there a while, you start to normalize things which in any other place wouldn't surely get normalized. Actually, it might seem weird that the episode is actually honored to Berlin Metro, but to be honest, I love S-Bahn. And for the ones who maybe don't know what's that, it's like the metro, but above the ground. So in Berlin, you have, for instance, the parts of metro that is going between buildings or just like above the ground, and it's really nice. For instance, like between Alexanderplatz and Friedrichstraße, like you can, I don't know, it's like really big city vibe for me. What you've seen in the metro can't get unseen or forgotten, or to be honest, even unsmell. Really well. Like once I met a person whose smell was like so intense that even stepping out on Hermannplatz and walking more or less 15 minutes home didn't make my nose forget about that. Like I remember I started to cook something in the kitchen, and then after a few seconds I was like, "Ugh," like cause like the smell, I reminded myself and it stayed with me like but dobra, it's not the point of this episode. There will be more cherries on the top because Berlin actually is full of them. Full. I'm also interested what are your stories from the Berlin metro. So if you feel like sharing, I'm encouraging you to share them in the comments below of the episode on Spotify or on Insta under my post, or you can send me an email. I can leave you an email in the description because maybe if there would be many nice stories, I could make an episode based on your stories. Part 2 of ByeByeBer. But okay, let's go. The first story is called Grapes. And maybe you know it from an old episode that I recorded like, I think 3 years ago or two. And once I was going to have a tandem with my friend in the park, like a small explanation for people who don't know what's tandem. So it's like the language exchange. You meet with a person who wants to teach you another language, you teach this person another language, and then you talk in this language and la 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 la. That's it. And then I was going for tandem with my friend, and I was like, okay, let's buy maybe some grapes because it was April, so the weather was starting to be okay to be outside. And I sat on the metro and I had this kind of like tote bag, like I don't know how this is, like tote bag in German, tote bag, like these material bags that you have, for instance, for groceries or to make groceries or something, no? And I had this bag and it was kind of like open, and the homeless woman, like maybe homeless, I don't know, like apparently she was homeless, she sat next to me, and I was like, okay, no, here I mentioned that I can smell really good, like I'm deaf as fuck, like I see not very well because I need to wear glasses because I can't see from far away, but the smell, it's like developed to 90%. So when she sat next to me, I already knew, I didn't need to look, but she saw my grapes sticking out of the bag and she was like, "Can I have some?" And I was like, "Yes, of course." But then when she gave me her hand and it was, like super dirty hand, and I was like, I don't want to have this hand with all my grapes, no? So I just like split a bit, like gave her a few like bunches of grapes. and then she like ate them. She was sitting next to me, no, so she had them all, and then after a while she asked me again like, can I have more grapes? And I was like, yeah, have them all. Like, I gave her the box and I just went outside and I changed the fucking wagon because I couldn't sit there anymore with the smell. Like, I'm so sorry, but it's really like, like how it is. And I was like, what the fuck? Like, okay, I understand, like, you must be really like on the edge when you ask people for food or something, no? But on the other hand, I was like, I hate it when you give people like the finger and then take your whole hand, And and I was also laughing like, what the fuck? In Berlin, you can't even have like the grapes in your fucking bag, like inside of the bag because it's gonna be seen by someone anyway. It's like having the crisps in like primary school. You can't have any crisps in primary school because then you have one and you don't have any of them because everyone wants to have them, no? And you're just like, okay, so take everyone. What should you say? Like yes to first five people and no to the other person. So yeah, that's the story number one. But in general, I don't know what people feel from me, like if I look as a generous person from the outside, or maybe they think I'm naive. I don't know, because also one time I was like drinking water from my bottle of water. I was drinking, and then the guy sitting in front of me in metro, it was close to Naturkundes Museum, I remember, Uzex, and then he was like, can I have a sip? And I was like, what the fuck? How can you have a sip? How can you get like a sip I can give to my sister or for my friends, Like, and I was like, yeah, like, take it all. Like, maybe I don't know. I was like, maybe he didn't drink, like, I don't know, a long time, whatever. But like, I don't know why this happened to me, no? Um, let's move on to story number 3. I hope you're warmed up with these two because I think it's one of the most funny that ever happened to me, and I'm super sad I don't have picture of this to present you that, because it's like you would feel it what I felt, thanks to that picture. But once I was going to the bar with like U1, like U-Bahn, like Metro 1 or U3, like through Kreuzberg. And then also you can go like above the city. And the line between Warschaustrasse and then up till Halesche Store, it's like, que increíble. Like what you see there, it's like muy duro, like really hard. But once when I was going to the bar with this metro, and I was listening to music with, these big headphones that you have like on your ears. So I couldn't hear like almost anything. And I just like at some point one woman was standing next to me, like I could hear something in the background, no? So I made my music a little bit more quiet, and then I heard this woman saying like, hi, hat jemand eine Kippe? Or it was like, has anyone like a cigarette or maybe a coin or something? And then I was standing with these headphones, and like, I was like kind of feeling like a fucking snowboarder, because I was like, let's roll a cigarette. So I was like rolling a cigarette, like not holding myself to anything, and going in this U-Bahn and these headphones. So I also felt like super dead. But then this woman came to me and she had this kind of puppet, like, like with this hair standing, like kind of, I think, I don't know, I have like Annabelle puppet wants to come to my mind. Wait, I will just check how Annabelle puppet looks like. No, no, no. Okay, okay. It wasn't Annabelle. Sorry. It wasn't Annabelle puppet, but it was like, I don't know, with his hair standing, like if she was like hit by, by storm, and it was funny. And she was holding this puppet next to my head, and she was like, "Oh, look, someone is making cigarette for us." I look at her. I was like, "Yeah, I can make it. Like for me, it's not a problem. No, it's only tobacco, but." So funny. And afterwards I lost her, like I was listening to music and then she never came back for the cigarette, and I was like, I'm so sad, because I wish to give her that and just ask her if I can make a fucking picture of this puppet, because it's like, this is story I knew I will tell people, but now I don't have the proof, no. But you need to believe me. Maybe I will try to Google like kind of like similar puppet to to show you, to present you and put the link. I don't know. But yeah, sometimes I'm still thinking like, yeah, this picture. And so that was story number 4 and my favorite one, I think. And now the story number 4, I think. Wait, we had grapes, water, funny woman with a puppet, and now Yes, now it's the story number 4, which happened actually not that long time ago because last summer. And small intro to the story is that in summer, my persona is like inline skate girl. So I go outside to, how to say, to go on inline skates. Like I never know, like to, ride on inline skates. And I used to do it in Tempelhofer because there's this park made of an old airport. So there's this piece of like asphalt, like the really nice smooth ground. And there's also open space because it's like it used to be airport, so you can clearly see the sunset, which is softly kissing your skin. And to get there, I needed to go 2 or 3 stations by metro. And as I wanted to save also time, I was putting on these inline skates actually at home. And then I was going on the street a bit to the metro and these 3 stations by metro. And actually, like I was doing this even one summer before, no one ever told me anything. Like it was super chill. And also, the thing is that I'm fit when it comes to that. I know my sense of motoric. I know I have the control of my body balance, and I know I can go on metro with these inline skates, and then nothing will happen. Or okay, if I fall or something, that I quickly go up. But actually, like also you need to know how to fall. No, but it never happened to me actually. And very often, like there were so many people, I was like just holding this thing and then standing and going and la la la. And I remember this one time I was going back home and actually I sat, like sometimes I was standing as I told you, but actually I sat because there was free spot and I was also listening to music, la la, vibing, endorphins got back like after doing sport. And then I felt that someone touched my like arm from the behind and I was like, who's that? Like I was excited, like, yes, probably I met a friend or something, no? And then I turn around and it's a fucking driver of this metro and he got out of this fucking cabin from the first wagon and he came all the way to me. Okay, I don't know how far I was, like I wasn't at the other like part of metro, but also I wasn't in the first door, no. So he came to me and he told me that I should get off this train. And I was like, but why? Like I have all the right to be here. And he was like, you cannot, like it's not allowed to be with inline skates in on the metro. And I was like, okay, so I can change for shoes. I have shoes in my bag. He was like, no, like get out of here. Like you can't be here. And I was like, but what? Like I have the total right to be here. Like I pay for the fucking ticket, no? And like, how can you throw me if I have shoes? And I suggested also, like I was diplomatic, like, okay, like I know if it's the rule and you tell me that's the rule, I'm gonna put the shoes on, no? And then he was like, no. And then people also like were staring at me with this like Polish accent, like arguing in German with this guy, like, like I know. Masakra. But then people also were like, let go, just go now. So I stepped out of this metro and I was like, what the fuck just happened? Like people are taking like crack on the fucking U-Bahn and I can't be on my inline skates inside sitting and also suggesting I change for shoes. Like, what is that? Like, and then I stepped outside and one guy, I think he wasn't homeless, but he was in the station. He came to me. He was like, what happened? And I was like, yeah, that he threw me from the train because of this. And he was like, what the fuck? Probably he had like a fight with his wife or something and he put this on your. And I was like, yes, that's what I think. But what the fuck? No, sometimes I'm thinking, do all these stories happen to people or what? No, I don't want to say like at any chance. I am not saying I'm special or something by stories like this, but like I don't know. I never saw something like this happen to anyone, or my friends also didn't tell me. I don't know. But that's not the last story because we have a few more. I don't know how many, to be honest. I think like 3. And the story number 5, I hope I didn't get lost in the count. But la historia número 5 happened in between Hermannplatz and Rathaus Neukölln. So for those who live in Berlin, once with my friend, we needed to pick up the dishwasher from eBay from Neukölln station because it was for free. And we are like, yes, we won the fucking lottery. And then we asked for reservations. She said, no, no, no. And she was like, who comes first? And get the dishwasher first. And of course, when we heard this, we're like, okay, at what time can we come? She's like, from 9. So we're like, okay, 8:50 already in fucking U7, no? In Hermannplatz. So imagine on Sunday what view we got there. And when we sat on the metro, we are like not trying to observe a lot, but like kind of in front of us was sitting a guy without shoes, no? So I'm looking at Teresa and I'm looking at his feet and I'm like, what happened there? Because Also, for people who not live in Berlin, or maybe you've been like once or something touristy place, it's like metro is so dirty, you can't imagine. I can eat from the floor when I drop something. For me, it's not a problem. Like the rule of like 5 seconds. No, it exists for me, but not there. I think not there. Like you can get so many different diseases, and I know in every metro it's possible, but this metro, I think it's like, I think yeah, I would get like third leg if I would eat something from the floor there. So being without shoes for me was also like, oh my god, no. And then my friend, she looks at me, we got off, and she told me that it was her coworker. And I was like, what? And the thing is that she was kind of social worker. It wasn't a job like, I don't know, maybe in a club, or something like that. It was just like stable job, 9 to 5, like so I don't know. Super funny for me also. The story number 6 is connected to a guy who looked like Bob Marley after 1 year in Berlin, with peace, love, and respect, of course. And I don't know which urban it was. I think we were going just to the lake with my friends from Erasmus that came with Aga and Beth, Besitos girls, and also with my friends from Berlin. I think many of us, we had this like hats. I don't know, like I had for sure. Also, Teresa had some kind of hat, and my hat was like, actually special. I no wonder that it drew the attraction because my friend Viola, she made it for my birthday, and I remember the first moment when I got this, I was so happy. I just put this on my head and I didn't take it off until the rest of the party. The guy, he saw us in the U-Bahn and he started to talk to us also because of the hats. He had also this kind of like Bob Marley hat, la la la. And then she was like, yeah, like let's make a picture together, la 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 la. And I don't know, I found it so random, like because of the hats that they connected us, like, and then this picture also, like maybe this picture will be a cover of this. I don't know, let's see. But yeah, I feel like it's nice memory, positive memory from the U-Bahn. And the story number 7, sieben, ein Lulu, sieben, ein, zwei, lulululululu. I don't know. I think it's like it's a song that Polish people know. So, but I don't know if in international background it's also well known or not. But if not, that now you know. And the story number 7 is actually a nice one. Like pleased, pleasant. How to say? Like nice is for me like poor word. Like I need more. I need more vocabulary. But in general, I don't like to scroll when I'm on the U-Bahn, or in general, I don't like to scroll. But it was a time when I wasn't reading books, so I was just like sometimes observing, like sitting and observing people on U-Bahn, not like a creeper or something, but like sometimes looking in the window. That actually was black, no, because it was U-Bahn, or when I was lucky and it was S-Bahn was nice. But I like to also just observe, no, what's around me. And I remember I saw that there were these two guys standing next to each other, like on their phones, and they were playing something, apparently. And then they noticed that they are playing the same game, so they started to talk to each other. And I was just observing that, and I felt like a proud mom sitting on the playground observing her child making friends. And I was like, yes, they found each other, like, and they were talking about this and that. And I was like, wow, I love to observe when people are just people. Yeah. So, actually, that's all I wanted to share with you regarding things, situations I've seen in Berlin Metro. I know it's not as hard as what we can see sometimes on Das ist Berlin Bitch. By the way, if you don't follow this account and you want to see the real Berlin, I really recommend you this. I will leave this also in the description because Das ist Berlin Bitch, this account, it's like the pot of gold found under the rainbow. Really, definitely try this out and then you will see what I mean. But yes, my stories maybe are not as hard as what you can see there. But I'm super open to listen to your stories. So if you feel like sharing what you saw on Metro, no matter where, it doesn't need to be Berlin. But if you have some nice stories of Metro, Metro stories, then you can leave them in a comment, as I said, on Spotify, Insta, or maybe if it's longer, you can send me an email or you can just text me. I would be also happy to hear them without making a second part of this episode. But yeah, email sounds like more old school, no? It's like, I will send you an email with a story. And to be honest, I would love to tell stories from your perspective by using my voice natürlich, but like with your way of describing them. So yeah, that's all for today. I wish you a wonderful day or night, like depending on when are you listening to that. In Polish we say like I wish you tasty coffee or tea. So if it's the beginning of the day, I wish you that. And it was an episode of podcast Yellow Wave called ByeByeBerlin, Bye Bye Berlin, based on Metro stories. And behind, or actually like in front of the mic, was me, moi, Marta Knasiak. And as Elena Gilbert was saying, that's my life. Weird, messy, complicated, sad, wonderful, amazing, and above all, epic. Ciao!